what do you say to the criticism the West is getting by a lot of people saying the West is no longer what it once was, and it's past the tipping point, meaning there's no longer a saving of the West? What do you say to that?
The first part, you're probably right. I mean, we're in a complete terminal decline. And it's hard to disagree with that. A moral decline, economic decline, financial decline, fiscal decline. I don't think we're past the tipping point. That is the question, is where is the West? And you kind of have to take a pulse. There's plenty of reasons for optimism. I'm seeing a kind of renewed sense of patriotism in certain sects. At the same time, we're living through what Nietzsche predicted in the 1860s, 1870s, and 1880s, where he did not proclaim it, but he stated God is dead. And again, it's misquoted because people think he was celebrating the death of God. He was not. What he was saying is that, hey, you in the West, if you are going to replace God with consumerism and the Industrial Revolution and hyper-individualism, be careful what's going to take its place. And we're kind of living through the kind of mixture of synthetic worldviews that take its place when Christianity or a cogent Western morality deteriorates. The idea, especially black men, being drawn to the Muslim faith is not new because it really does, it's unapologetic in the patriarchy, right? So in a hyper-feminist world, it seems attractive. And again, Malcolm X wrote extensively about this. I don't subscribe to a lot of the appeal of it. In a world that has gone mad in chaos, people yearn for order. But I think the West has gone way too far away from having order as a bedrock principle. What the founders tried to establish in the Constitution, especially because of the world that they built it in, is how do we have liberty, but also we have the rootedness of eternal wisdom so that liberty does not become licentiousness. And that's exactly what we're living through, is that it's no longer the pursuit of what is good, it's the pursuit of what makes me feel good. And those are two different things.
Great nation, America.
Yes.
Look at the values and principles that we have. Where did the fall happen?
Boy, that's a powerful question. It's hard to pinpoint a certain year, but there's certainly an era. In the 60s or 70s, these revolutionaries took control of a lot of institutions, and the zeitgeist, the spirit of the times, got perverted and changed. I encourage anybody to find me a Netflix, Amazon, or Hulu documentary or film in the last 10 years that portrays someone that is a Christian in a positive light. Post-60s worldview, the moral view that came in the post-60s, and it didn't really set in until now, it took 60 years, is hyper-individualism. And I'm all for entrepreneurship and for people to succeed, but you must balance that, you must counterbalance it with duty and obligations. If it's all about just the pursuit of your own pleasures and your own delights, you will be not just empty, I think you're going to be miserable. And so we build an entire society, I think, on this very dangerous moral pretext. And we wonder why we have the most depressed, suicidal, anxious generation in history. It is a fact that as we have turned our back on American Christianity with the roots of it, that we are less free, we are more confused, and we are filling it with these other fake religions that we could talk about. The religion of anti-racism, the religion of scientism, right? Even earth worship at times, which is hyper,
global warming.
Yeah, environmentalism. And so there's a great book by Tom Holland. He calls it Dominion. And he's actually a secular agnostic who argues that what we consider to be common sense, what we consider to be normal, is a traditional inheritance from the Christian history. And you might not like Christianity, you might not believe Jesus is the king of the world, I do. But you should at least accept that if you remove Christianity as the bedrock of your civilization, be careful what you fill it with, because currently we're filling it with garbage.